like you said, believe it is possible, right? That's your
Yeah,
motto,
that's my
is it?
motto. That is
Yeah,
my motto. It's
yeah.
been my motto for, oh, it's been my motto for a number of years. So,
Okay.
um,
Could you
I
explain? Yep.
first, yeah.
Yeah.
So it goes way back to when I was 19. I was traveling a lot,
Yeah.
and I got the travel bug. I went to Australia.
Nice. Yeah. Where'd you go?
Went up the East Coast. So I did Byron Bay and up to
Oh,
the
nice.
Whitsundays. Yeah, I fell in love with Australia, I'll be
Mm.
honest. And we had a stop off in Hong Kong, and I did not want to get on that plane to go to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I was this close to just never going back. Anyway, I had to go back, went back and did more traveling, and realized it was quite a struggle to get through university. Like I found university quite not fast enough. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and you have
Yeah.
to do this thing called university to kind of make your parents happy, but also to get the next goal in life, the job,
Yeah.
and all of this stuff. And I think back then, entrepreneurship and things like that, it was a different phase to what we're in now. Whereas actually looking back, like it helped me no end to have that degree for things that
Yep.
I wanted, like visas in Australia later on in
Mm.
life
Yeah.
and things like that. So it's paid dividends. And
Mm.
obviously I've done an MBA, and I probably couldn't have gone on that MBA without having the undergraduate course. So
Yep.
anyway, long story short, I did a year at uni. I then
Okay.
went traveling again.
Wow.
I became a downhill mountain bike instructor in the States.
Okay.
And yeah, I stayed out in the States for a year and did like a snowboarding season, deferred entry back into uni. And because of that, when I went back to university, a lot of my mates had moved up into the third year, and I was joining into the second year. And also I'd been flying in and out of London a lot to go to New York. And
Yeah.
my mind, because of that, had become a lot broader, and
Okay.
London was now the place I needed to be. So
Cool.
I had to, basically I figured all of this out about 2 days into the course and
Wow.
realized I don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to do this. I need to be in London. And if this is
Yeah.
going to work for me, I need to be in a bigger pumping city. So
Yep.
I decided to take the risk. I unenrolled from the course. I packed up my stuff. I subleased the apartment that I just paid loads of money for to rent. I managed to find a tenant in a day, get the landlord to agree to get me out of a year contract.
Yeah.
Packed up my stuff, rented a car, drove from Newcastle in the top of England to London overnight. And all the time I was trying to get myself into a university that didn't know who I was. And in the UK, as I'm sure in many countries, you have to do a formal application process. They need to interview you. They need to know who you are.
Yeah.
And I was choosing to do psychology, which at that time was one of the most popular courses. So it was totally oversubscribed. The course actually started in 2 days. So I had basically this 48-hour window to give it a go. But the risk in all of this was I had to unenroll from the university. So I had to withdraw my place at Newcastle University and then be kind of like in this no man's land and take the risk that I could then get myself back into a university in London. And I was quite specific. I only wanted to go to one university, which was Goldsmiths.
Yeah.
And I think that helped because I was focused. I wasn't scattered. I had 48 hours. I had to basically convince gatekeepers, these receptionists to get me through to decision maker, to get me through to right row subscribe. How would that look? If I could get in, how would that look? And then from there, it just, it taught me a lot about the power behind believing it is possible because everyone was kind of looking at you going, right, you've had 2 gap years now. You've done a year at you. Are you ever going to finish this degree? Now you've dropped out again and you're saying you're going to London to talk your way into this course. And so over the 48 hours, I created enough of a scene and enough of a story to get people bought into the story. I think that was important. So not only was I just asking them how it was possible, I was also updating them. Like, I'm on the motorway, I'm driving back, I'm coming for you, it's Goldsmiths or nothing. I'm going to be tomorrow. And they were like, well, if you're here at 8 a.m., I was like, what, can you set up one meeting with you? And then they'd be like, no, it's not possible, the person's off. And then like, who else can we do? And so it's just basically creating something that other people could get absorbed into. And then by the time I got there, pretty much half the class knew who I was. This guy that's trying to get into uni that we don't know, and who is this guy? And I had bleach blonde dreadlocks right down my back, like so I had, because I've been traveling and snowboarding, and so I stood out quite a bit. So when I walked into that lecture theatre, it was like, that's the guy that's been trying to come the last 2 days to get in here. So
you took massive action.
Massive action, exactly. And that was a game changer for me, because it's something that I thought was a major risk, but I had to do it. Like, there was almost like I put myself in a position where there was no other option. I burned the boats. And said, right, this has to happen. Or else we'll figure it out. Like, this is what we're going for. And so that was where my motto came from. So many years I've carried that around with me, and then applied it to numerous situations.
Wow, that's amazing. You said burn the boats. Would that be a particular technique that you apply in your life as well? Like, just, get rid of...
definitely.
Okay.
Like the story about the captain that went to the island, and I think there are certain situations where, a bit like moving from Australia to Singapore, you need to burn the boats in almost to force your hand, not just because you don't want to, almost force the world to make it possible in a way that's right. This is where we're going. This is I'm all in. I'm committed. And the universe backs that. Like, I really believe that when you do go all in and you do book your flights. So from Australia to Singapore, I was having no luck getting a job, and it was quite hard because, they want to have a work experience in Asia. You're in Australia. That's not the same. Like, you need to have had, well, it's kind of a catch-22 then, because how am I going to get work experience? And it's a senior role. So there was all of these things going around, and instead of trying to just focus on the job, what we did was we fixed a date, we booked the flights, we told the letting agent that we're moving out, and it was a few months in advance, like 3 months in advance, but we committed, and by doing that, our mindset changed. I think, and that mindset was like, this is happening, so come on board. And that philosophy of burning the boats it's helped a lot.
It's like you're
believing it's possible.
So like when you did that, you were like looking around you were able to use your mind and look around for different options and find solutions, wouldn't it? It's just
and people come on board with that because they recognize that you're serious. You're not just playing with the idea. It's like, we're going to be here March 2018. That's it. We're coming. Like,
we got to make it work.
Money, job or no job. Like, let's. And then when you do that, you think bigger as well. I think it is about thinking bigger. So then we were like, well, how come we've got to go? We've got to go in the next 3 months. We've got to try and be in market and get jobs, because so we had to figure out how we could do that. Whereas if we just stayed in the mindset of just applying from Sydney, like, it could have gone on and on and on and on and on. Versus we forced ourselves to think differently, to think big, and then to take the big action, the massive action, to then be in Singapore when it probably wasn't comfortable to be in Singapore. We needed to be in Sydney. We had things going on, but we had to make that trip happen so that we could then land the job, which happened because we took the action to come to market, to take that next step. And then it managed to get a job in 4 days, which would never have happened had I not have had the random meetings that I had created in that trip to then get us over here. So it all came from the way you think.